Just waiting for a few people to enter. I'm here with Sarah Lowe.
Hi.
We're going to be talking about the 3 secrets to determine your home's value. We're coming up on the spring market. So just wanted to talk about a couple things that the average lay person out there can do to get an idea of what the value of their property is going to be, just going off of Zillow, Trulia, and things like that. Hey, Dana, how's it going? Long time no see. So again, we're just going to wait for a couple more people to get in here and everything, and then we're going to kick this off. And so we have our guest here today, Sarah, which is awesome. We're going to have more of Sarah every week here on some of these here with me.
Right.
She's got such an awesome real estate following. Blaine, how are you, buddy? It's good to see you, man. Congratulations once again. We're just going to be talking about the 3 secrets for the average lay person to determine their home's value as we're coming up on the spring market. Most people are going to be just going on Zillow and other things like that and checking their value. However, things like Zillow, Trulia, and those type of services have a fundamental flaw in their algorithms to determining value. So I just want to go over what a couple of those things are for everybody at home. So we'll dive right into it. So what are the 3 secrets to determining your value? There's a few things that actually go in a decreased weighting value when determining your home's value. So the most important thing actually is going to be the location. And everyone's heard the cliche, location, 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 and that is true. So location is going to be the absolute #1 thing that determines the value of your home over, say, other homes around in a general area. The closer to more desirable locations they are, such as desirable school district or other amenities and things like that, closer to commuter routes, closer to major cities like DC, et cetera, is going to increase the value of a home. So location's the main thing, and then after that is going to be size in a decreasing fashion. And then after that, the amenities. Now, most people always that we run into, they think, oh, well, I have upgraded granite and a bunch of upgrades in their property, so it should be worth more than that home that's a mile away, located right on the golf course. And unfortunately, those upgrades have a diminishing return when compared to size of the property or the actual location. Hey, Christian, Caitlin. So just keep that in mind as we go forward. So location's #1, size #2, and then amenities are the smallest factor in determining the value, but it is important. So when you go on Zillow, the fundamental problem with a Zestimate on Zillow is that it takes comparable sales within just a general radius, whether it's a mile, 2 miles. You can actually even see what it's using because it'll pull those in when you look on the side of the screen. It'll show you what properties are nearby. It's actually using the sold data in those properties and dividing it by square footage and coming up with a general number, which can get you in the ballpark, but it can be off by as much as 20%. And the reason being is whenever looking at a comp, Zillow looks up to 3-4 years back. So there's a huge distortion. And it also doesn't take into account the type of property that it is. So the first thing you want to do is you want to actually look at your own comps on Zillow. And what that means is you're going to look for properties within your own immediate neighborhood first. You never want to jump over a property in your own neighborhood to an outside neighborhood because it has a more favorable value. So try and stay within your neighborhood originally. And you can go out to maybe a 1/4 mile if there isn't anything in your immediate neighborhood, maybe even a mile, no more than a mile though. Rural areas, you may have to go more than a 1/2 mile, but more than a mile and it's not a comp. So you're going to try and search within your neighborhood or within a 1/4 mile. Then the next thing you want to do is you're going to look at when was that property sold. Don't go back any more than 6 months. An appraisal is not going to go back any further than 6 months, so neither should you. You're going to need to know the real value of a property when you're putting it up for sale, because let's say you find the one guy that fell off the turnip truck who wants to buy your house for some astronomical number. Well, when he goes and applies for his loan with the bank's going to do an appraisal and chop that value to whatever it came in with the appraisal. That's all they're going to lend the guy. So for all intents and purposes, unless you have an extremely dumb cash buyer, which buyers that tend to be able to buy cash generally aren't dumb. So just keep in mind, 6 months is the furthest you want to go back when looking at comparable sales. Also, once you've done that, so once you've looked at comps in your immediate neighborhood or within a quarter mile, and you've gone back 6 months, then you want to look at the type of house. So if there is a hierarchy of value when it comes to properties. So let's say you have a split foyer, then next comes split level, and then you're going to have a rancher, ramblers, raised rancher, raised rambler, then colonial, and then variations of colonials. Now there's infinite architectural styles of properties, but generally in this area that's going to be the hierarchy. So you don't want to be comparing, say, a colonial when your property is going to be a split foyer, because it's not comparable, and the way that they actually calculate the square footage isn't going to be comparable also. So that brings me to the next thing, square footage. You're only going to want to go up or down about 400 feet in your square footage that you're going to be using to compare. So let's say you have a property that's 1,500 square feet and another one in the neighborhood that's 3,000 square feet. They're not comps to each other. The 3,000 square foot property can't use the 1,500 square foot property and vice versa. So within 400 square feet, plus or minus, if you want a good accurate value. And that also, you're only going to calculate the above grade square footage. Basements don't count. Can't count the square footage. Even though finished basement does add value to your property, they're not to be used for comparable purposes when comparing comps or figuring out what is a comp or what's not a comp. And then the last thing you want to really pay attention to is the school district, both the elementary school and the high school that it feeds into. That is extremely important. So houses that are, say, a block away from your house, but that street is the dividing line between one school and another, can have a significant impact on the value of one property over another. So just be mindful of that. And a lot of these services, say, for example, when you do a market analysis with us, we'll actually pull overlays over the map to make sure that we're looking at the right school districts and that we didn't go over the line somewhere, because that's going to be a significant factor when determining value. So just to recap real quick, and is there anything you wanted to add to any of that, Sarah?
No, I mean, you definitely touched on all the three things that everyone looks into when determining value, as well as, things that are very important, when it comes to appraisals, comps, and the locations.
Yeah, and so when people call in to list their properties with us, that's probably one of the first things we do, actually, even before we actually go out and meet with our potential clients, is we do a market analysis. And we go pretty in depth with these things that we talked about, and a few more factors also. But you'll be able to talk to Sarah also when you intake as a new client with us, and we can go over that at a later date. Sarah's actually our executive assistant, and she's our operations, our COO, who handles all the operations and contract to close systems within the team. So again, let's recap real quick. The three things that are going to be determining value are going to be location first, size second, and then amenities third. And kind of picture it as a pyramid, where the biggest bottom portion of that pyramid is going to be location, size in the middle, and then the smallest tip of that is going to be the amenities. And again, with comps, we're going to be looking at your immediate neighborhood. And then if there's nothing there, go out to a quarter mile. If there's nothing in a quarter mile, a half mile, any more than that, and it gets real dicey. From that, make sure you don't go any further than 6 months back, any more than 6 months, and then it becomes extremely unreliable, just because an appraiser won't use it. So it's just unreliable. And then after that is the type of property. Remember, whether it's a split foyer, split level, rambler, rancher, colonial. So just make sure you're comparing the correct type of house, because you don't want to be comparing a 100-year-old farmhouse to a brand new colonial, even though they're right next to each other, right? And then plus or minus 400 feet in square footage, above grade only, and then finally school district boundaries. So just a couple little shout outs here. Hey, Tommy, Michelle, what's going on? Michelle Hunt, I have not seen you in forever. Michelle is a realtor that I used to work with. It's great seeing you on here. Miss you guys. Francisco, Will Campbell's on here. Brian's an awesome lender. Good to see you, Brian. How you doing, buddy? So I hope you guys like and share. Hopefully maybe somebody that you know might be thinking about buying or selling, and this information may be helpful for them. Sarah, is there anything else you wanted to add about maybe what you do, what we do, or how maybe we can help them as far as determining the value of their property?
No, Tim, not at this time because I'll be doing my own Facebook Live video. So.
All right, so we're going to be liking and sharing, and so we hope to see everybody here real soon. Hey, Chris, how you doing, buddy? So that was it anyway. And if you're just joining and missed it, this was about the 3 secrets to determining your home's value prior to going on the market, or prior to even meeting a realtor, just so you know that if your home looks viable or not to sell this year. Values are really going up. It's an exciting time to be in real estate, and things are really looking positive. So that's all we've got for this week, and we'll see you guys next Friday with another Facebook Live.
All right, bye.